Good morning. Okay, we're back at Wenham skate park. Today I want to practice my backside stalls, preferably in the bowl, but we're going to start somewhere very small here. To start off with, we're actually going to do it on the crack on the floor, because I want to figure out what's the best way to turn into it. Because when I'm in the bowl, there's a lot of like forces and gravity and stuff messing with me, and it's difficult to figure that out in the moment. So we're going to pull out of the bowl, go to the very easiest spot, which is a crack on the floor, to see what's the easiest side to turn to, and if it's the most convenient side. For example, if you want to do a backside grind, if I want to do a backside grind, I actually want to be going this way, so my left foot forwards. That's how I would skate or surf or whatever. So I suppose turning to my right is the way to go. So first thing I notice, first I turn to the right, and then I turn to the left. One thing that I notice is turning to the left is a lot easier, because that's how I get to 180. I look over, I like to have my, when I'm skating backwards, I have my eyes, my face over the right shoulder, which means turning to the left to get into a 180 is the easiest for me. However, if I turn to the left into a backside, then I'm facing the way that I don't want to face, because I want to face to the left because that's easiest for me, but jumping to the left is also easiest for me, so I need to decide which one is going to die, basically. Whether I'll just learn to jump to the right, which seems like the easier option than learning to skate goofy. So yeah, so to the right. Okay, let's try it on the step. One, two. Can't really stay up there for long. And this step's been waxed as well. Turning to the right. Turning to the right. To the right. Okay, so turning to the right is manageable, but I have to absolutely concentrate on making my left foot get to the place that I want it to be. Doing the turn and stuff is already very natural because of all of the previous practice in the previous season of doing 180s and stuff. So I think turning to the right is going to be the way I want to go. But it's going to be a stall, and I'm learning it for the first time, and what might be best is if I A, get into the trick as safely as possible, as I said, and B, do the thing that lets my body feel how it feels to do the trick. So to the left, to the right. Actually, they're almost as good as each other now that I'm thinking about it. Nice to have a teeny tiny ledge, but I mean everyone's got a sidewalk, haven't they? 10. Try and get some sideways movement. I mean, my feet went in the right place, And that wasn't scary at all, which is funny because the first few that I did were very scary. It was very like, okay, I'm going to turn around and somehow, and what if my wheels go out that way, and what if my wheels go down this way, and am I going to hit my back over there? And yeah, it turns out that there's nothing to be worried about. Oh. There is no slide at all on this step. That's okay. But that's kind of my very first grind, actually. Okay, we're going to move to somewhere that's a bit more slick, but a bit higher. So there's a little box just over here, next to some trees. And we're going to go there. Okay, I feel kind of like the little step there has served its purpose, and I get that I can turn right if I focus on moving my left foot into the position that I want it when I'm rotating to the right. So my left foot, I need to consciously think about putting it right on here. That works, so that's great. A great insight that I managed to learn without any danger on that little step. So now we're going to move to this this little ledge here. It is not waxed, but it's higher. So it's going to be about a bigger jump and trying to lock the trick in. Do it from standing to start with. And again, at this height, it feels a lot more daunting. So I need to jump and end like that. That's more slick. Yes. Okay, next step is trying to get a bit of motion, I suppose. Because I will definitely be having motion in the bowl. It'll be a slightly different kind, but this seems like a safe place to increase the difficulty with relatively low risk. So what I'm going to do is try and get some movement on the grind, come in from back there and then try and do a grind and then get off it. Okay, so we're going to try a few more standing and then just warm up. I skate in, I jump here, I slide a little, I jump off. So we're not going for any, well, I'm always aiming for smoothness, but we're not going for any kind of, I just want to be able to land the trick. No kind of grace or smoothness required. So here we go. Okay, slid. Was not prepared for that, because that was my first ever grind. So I had my weight too far backwards. Weight too far backwards. That was the problem there. And I also think that my feet slid apart. So my weight was too far backwards, or it was fine, and my front foot slid on forwards. We're going to have to do a few more to try and hammer out this technique. Nope, not quite. That was good, but I feel like I was a bit too high. That was a grind. Very good. I'm still exiting the trick because I'm falling out rather than because I want to. That was a nice one. Oh boy, this is more intensive than the bowl. So there are two things that I want to work on today. One of them is this backside stall in the bowl, and the other thing is Fakie drop-ins. So I've cut out a bunch of the attempts here of the backslide grind. I show you a couple of bad ones and all of my good ones. But the rest of them, I must have done, it was a few, 30 maybe, something like that. But yeah, I want the main focus of the video to be trying to do the thing that I want to do, rather than a show reel of 1,000 grinds that sometimes work and sometimes I stumble off, because we've all seen those. Yeah, so we're going to move to the bowl, and I'm going to work on the Fakie drop-ins and the backside stall. And then one thing that I could practice is trying to do a 180 out of the bowl, I guess. But I'm going to keep doing this, but visualizing in my brain doing a backside. So yeah, I looked at the coping as it came up and I thought I need to put my foot there. Look how nice that is. Okay, I wasn't paying attention there. I was just enjoying the flow. So different. You've got to do the first one to know what it's like though, so I'm going to keep doing this and visualizing and keep doing this and visualizing, and then at one time or another I'm going to feel it and do it, I think. Yeah, that wasn't right. So I'm used to having my feet on the bowl all the way to the top there. Where do I jump? And what's my body doing? Like that? It's very difficult turning to the right, because when I turn around to go Fakie, I like to turn to the left. So watch me turning to the left now. A lot more smooth, because I like having my left foot back. And when I turn to the left, it naturally brings the left foot to the back. But I need to turn to the right. So let's keep working on the right. Whoa. I mean, we're getting there. And I'm carrying enough speed and enough height that if I mess it up, I fall out the side, which is good for this stage. That was it. I rolled out the back, but that was it. So that's like the next stage. First stage is just go out the back. Second stage is get on top and roll off. And then third stage, of course, is go back in. And also one thing that I'm doing, which I don't think I should be doing, is looking backwards when I finally do the trick. So when you're rolling out, it makes sense to look backwards, but when you want to stay in, you don't want to do that. So that's a bit, that's next stage stuff. Maybe a bit too much speed. Very nice. Getting there. That was kind of cheating, because I went up onto the flat. But a really great first go. still carrying a bit too much speed, but I don't know how to slow it down. Pump less with my body, I suppose. Yes, that was a backside. Okay, great. Yeah. I did way less sort of pumping and stuff there, so that I could have the, so I didn't get shot out the other side. Great. That's 2. 7 counts. If it's the first day, it counts. 15. We're going to try 2 in a row. 16, 17. We're going to try as many as possible. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Whoa. 22. And that was from 80. I think that was 5. Great. So that really feels easy now. Really feels conquered. And I'm turning to the right as well, so my left foot is forward, so if I ever want to do that into a grind, I'm in the right position for a backslide. Next thing to practice is the Fakie drop-ins. I'm going to have a water break and then we're going to try that. Okay, so having a really good time so far. I managed to crack that, what do you call it? Backside stall in the bowl. I think what we can say is the technique is to roll in. You don't need too much speed because you're kind of jumping up into the trick, so you don't need to pump super hard. You look at the coping, where you want your left foot to land, your leading foot to land. Whichever side foot you're not turning, so I'm turning to the right, which means I need to look at the place where I want my left foot to land. Continue leaning into the bowl as you go up, and then it's just a matter of persistently working it until it feels natural. Another great reason to do skating, because you just have to you have to work for several hours before you can even do the trick the first time, and that's you know, you need persistence, and you need to think it through, and you need to not get frustrated by your mistakes, and you need to break the problem down into its component steps. And there's just a lot of other than the physical aspect, skating is just such a nice sport to do. Yeah, so next is Fakie drop-ins. I feel like, much like the backsides, as soon as I get one and get it right, they're going to become quite trivial. But doing the first one is going to be, probably the first 5, is going to be quite scary. Normally I would recommend the training be find a smaller half pipe and do them on there, or find, like in this park, we've got some pretty gentle ramps that you can just start at the top of and turn around backwards and jump into. And so I think I've gone as far as I can with those particular methods of working up to a Fakie drop-in. So I feel like I've got the skill to do it now, and it's just a case of trying out different ways of getting into the bowl and turning into that Fakie position. Yeah, so okay, that was quite long-winded. We're going to try some Fakie drop-ins. The crazy part about this is that at this point what you have to do is jump in and then hope you figure it out. See, I can go down backwards from a stall. But it's getting into that stall position that's quite tricky. It's just the ball to jump in, I suppose. So I'm on a line here. I'm just trying to visualize it in my head. And kind of go like that, but I need to get my legs not pointing down but pointing towards the bowl. Oh my god, when I prepare to do it, I really get this thing in my chest. What if you fall? What if you fall? What if you fall? What if you fall? That's fear, which means I'm in the right place. Fuck you, fear. Oh boy. Yeah, I think my main worry is that I don't turn my feet straight enough and that I land sort of sideways and then flip over and then flip that way. It's not a rational fear, like most fear. I guess getting hurt is a rational fear, but imagining the convoluted way that you might get hurt is not fear. I'm talking in order to try and control myself and calm down so that I can give it a go. Okay. I need to jump out quite a lot. I think that's probably the main problem. I know this isn't great TV, but it's really good for my the development of my courage, because clearly I'm very scared. It's not actually that technically difficult. It's not actually that dangerous, especially since I'm wearing all the pads and helmet and stuff. And it's about overcoming that thing inside. Yes! Did it! Fell over, got some scratches, but that was the first one. I'll show you a clip of the exact same thing that I did on my first forward drop-in. Oh, I'm shaking. Oh, I'm just thinking of anything to stall. Oh, commit, fucking commit. Do it. Yes, yes, yes. And now it's just a case of repetition. But thank God for these. That was a big, yeah, nice. Really happy with that, really happy with that. Fuck you, Fear. Okay, so didn't have any time whatsoever to figure out what I did wrong there. Possibly not looking backwards enough. I think possibly one of my legs buckled, something like that. Yes, so what happened was my back foot, I wasn't looking backwards, and my back foot got a bit wobbly and it went underneath, so I was going down like this, and then my back foot kind of turned underneath my other foot and made me fall over to the side there. So that's what that was. That was definitely a case of being too far on my toes. So when I jump in, I need to try to get my foot a bit flatter, but I don't want to be too far on my heel because then I'm going to fall over backwards. And I don't want to be too far on my toes because then I'll fall over forwards. I need to maybe jump out a little bit further. At least this is now good TV. So I think that took about 25 minutes to half an hour for me to do the first one. My second one I was sort of happy with, but clearly this still needs some work. That was a big hit on my hip, but I think I can walk it off. So we're going to continue. That was okay, but I'm going off to the side far too much. The funny thing is that one down there was the one I got the most injured one on, and I was going forwards. The actual drop-in wasn't the thing that made me hurt myself. Oh well. 5 to 9, we've got time for a couple more. I'll move a little bit further forwards. And try again. Still not looking backwards. Because I could have done a backside stall there and then come out nice and gracefully. That would have been good. But that is good progression that I need to do next time. This time it was all about overcoming that initial fear. Okay, we're going to try a couple more times, maybe get one decent one going. That was a bump on my thumb, the only bit that's not protected on my hands. But I still feel like I don't actually know what I'm doing. I'm just jumping in and hoping for the best. Obviously repetition means that your body will eventually learn what the best is, but for now, I jump in, I get my feet down, and I just try to not fall. All of the forces and organising my feet and stuff, it's not really there in my head, it's not really controlled yet. Just a couple more. Okay. Great, we are recording. We would hate to not have gotten that on video. And I need to study the video back as well to see what's going on with my legs during those falls. Anyway, so today was backside stalls, backslide grinds, and fakie drop-ins. So all of those I managed to do at least once, let's say, without falling over. We started off with the grinds, with the stalls on a crack, and then stalls on a step, and then stalls on the ledge, and then finally we managed to get a stall on the bowl. Also on the ledge we did a few actual grinds. I think my best one probably moved about 20 centimeters or something like that. But still, very first grinds I've ever done. Looking forward to learning more, because it's actually the learning process that I like almost more than the performance, so to speak. Talking my way through it and thinking out loud and just figuring out all the nuances. It's like it's 2 hours of just me time where I can really work on my brain and work on my body, which is really nice, a really good sport. I love skating. So yeah, after all of that backside stuff and backslide stuff, I think maybe I can try to do some backslides on the coping, on the half pipe there next time. But I also definitely need to continue working on my fakie drop-ins, because I did about 8, I suppose. And I'd say at least 4 of those were massive catastrophes. Well, that's exaggerating. They were falls, they were failures, and quite substantial, crash, roll, smash, need the pads, scraping all over the place. I got a nice graze on my leg, which is gonna make a nice trophy. But yeah, the main thing about the fakies was that the fakie drop-ins were absolutely terrifying, and I felt the fear and I did it anyway, as they say. So I'm super happy with the whole session. This coming Wednesday I'm probably just going to practice those 2 things again, backside stuff and fakie drop-ins, and we'll see if it's worth recording. Maybe I'll record it just for posterity, but if it makes it into a video or not, who knows. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. See you later.